Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers. Ooh, we got a monster in the house.
John's got a little Elvis juice going.
Isn't that a Grover?
It's Kevin special.
It's a Grover book. Is there a monster in the house?
You're drinking a Monster at 10 o'clock?
Yeah, I ain't got shit to do tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
He's a mad lad.
Hey, guys. This is Matt Scott, and I'm with my dudes in a very particular order. Eric.
What up?
Daniel.
Heyo.
Dag.
What up?
You
And John.
motherfucker. We're going to fight.
And John.
Hello, John.
And we're here to present our podcast, The Movie Podium. The premise is that each week we collectively choose a movie to watch on our own time. We then get together every Sunday night and bullshit about the movie. Kind of like a book club, but for movies. We also came up with a set of questions to ask ourselves as we watch the movie to generate some fun comparisons and analysis of the movie. For example, one of the questions being, is this a podium movie or top 3 for the year of its respective release? So for instance, if we chose Casablanca, does this movie podium in the year 1942? Considering it's one of the all-time greats, I would think so. As we go through this movie, we'll go over each of the questions that we have for this podcast. Without further ado, we present our next movie.
I have a microphone.
So you will listen to every damn word I have to say!
The Wedding Singer.
All right, guys, we got The Wedding Singer. How awesome was this one?
It's so good.
That's
So
one of
pretty
my
right.
favorites.
It's all right.
Are you
Wah, wah.
hold on. Are you serious?
Mhm.
Just all right.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just all right.
I agree with Daniel. It's just
Of course
all right.
you do.
Whoa.
Of course you
We've
do.
got a
Downer
split.
Dave.
It's at
Downer
least
Dave and
all
Downer
right.
Daniel over there.
Man,
As
we
far
got a
as
split.
romantic
sure,
comedy,
right, but-
as far as
More
romantic
than that.
comedies go, it's all right. As far as Adam Sandler movies go, it's also all right.
Wow. All right. So
There.
1998 is one of those years that you look back at the Oscars and scratch your head a little bit. You got Robert Benigni in Life is Beautiful winning Best Actor instead of Tom Hanks in Saving Private Ryan, or Edward Norton in American History X. And somehow, Shakespeare in Love won Best Picture over 2 war all-time greats, Saving Private Ryan and The Thin Red Line. From a posse perspective, we were definitely more focused on some fun ones like The Big Lebowski, There's Something About Mary, and Mulan. We've got some pretty intense ones like American History X and The Truman Show. And of course, I have to mention Armageddon. Recently, went back and watched the...
You can't just go an episode without
Why?
mentioning Armageddon, your favorite
Why
movie
must you
ever.
mention Armageddon again?
I won't close my eyes.
I don't want to miss a thing. Is that why
And-
you mentioned Armageddon?
Exactly. So I recently went back and watched The Truman Show, and it really holds up really well. Like it kept my attention, and it was a really good movie. Anyways, it's hard to argue that the mid to late 90s run by Adam Sandler is one of the best runs for a comedian in the last 30 years. I mean, for our group, he's probably on the Mount Rushmore of comedy actors for us. Maybe podiums? I mean, I think this one is a very important one for him because he's probably the most him in this movie, if that makes sense. The combo between being goofy, serious, and musical, that's a big part of his act as a comedian. So I really have a warm spot for this movie. It's one of my favorite Adam Sandlers of all time. And so I can't wait to jump in.
I love this movie so much. I'm really
I do
glad
too.
we're doing
I
it.
can't believe we're split between this one. This is crazy.
I didn't say it was a bad movie. It's
No,
just
I know.
Not,
Yeah, I
like,
also
don't love
didn't
it.
say it was a bad movie.
Fair.
I want you to like it more than just it being okay.
No.
Right.
It's better than all right. God
So-
damn you.
So before we get into the questions themselves, I like to begin each show with a few random ass facts I found during some research. It's got a
Little
rating
rafts.
of... Yeah,
Rafts.
so It's got a rating of
Throw down them
6.9.
rafts, brah.
Spit them mad raps, brah. Let me just interrupt you more.
Yeah. Has a rating of 6.9 on IMDb.
Hell yeah.
69. Ah.
Yeah. The part of Glenn was written with Jim Carrey in mind to play the role.
Really?
Also Christopher McDonald, who is Shooter McGavin. Shooter. And
that could have worked out.
Yeah, I could have seen that. Or Charlie Sheen was also considered.
Yeah,
I could see that too.
So, the end scene when they're on the plane and he does the song. Well, the large Billy Idol fan on the plane, the big guy, the big strong guy. Well, his name is Al Burke, and he's also known as Mr. Outrageous, who is a 16-time professional wrestling champion on the indie scene.
Oh.
Now Daniel likes this movie more. Eric, did you catch what guitar Robbie was playing when he's playing Somebody Kill Me Please?
That was a Gibson ES335, I believe.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah.
Boom, headshot.
He played into a Fender dual reverb.
Hell yeah.
Nerd.
Yeah,
I knew you would get that, but that guitar is pretty.
Matt, did you catch the band name of Robbie's old band?
I did.
Did you?
Oh shit!
Yeah.
What is she? She says
I took a note on it.
I did too.
She says it in the movie. She thought like when she's saying like I really wanted you when you.
Yeah, I'm not in love with Robbie right now. I'm in love with Robbie 5 years ago when he was the lead singer of Final Warning.
That's it. Final Warning. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good.
With leather pants and an open satin shirt.
I got the pants right now.
So the bride and groom on top of Robbie and Linda's wedding cake at the beginning of the movie, when Linda doesn't even show up. Well, it's supposed to resemble Robbie and Julia, who obviously get married at the end.
Julia Goulia.
Yeah, Julia Goulia with her short blonde hair.
Yeah.
So before we get into the questions, let's make sure we stomp that like button like you are at Kevin at a wedding. And don't forget to subscribe. You can catch us here on YouTube every Tuesday or your favorite podcast platform.
For all the listeners out there, Kevin has a signature move.
We could probably put it on here.
Oh, yeah. Our Bond Kevin. He anchors 1 foot and then he stomps around in a circle around that 1 foot.
One thing that also stood out to me in this movie was whenever Robbie calls out the table at the one wedding when he's all upset and he says, "Oh yeah, and everybody at table 9." Brian posts a young Brian Posehn is sitting at table 9.
Yep,
I said that too when we were watching. I'm like, is that Brian Posehn? It's gotta be.
It sure is.
Oh, he's pretty easy to catch it.
One of my favorite scenes, though.
That's such a good scene. All right, everybody ready for the questions?
No, Daniel's eating.
Favorite thing about the movie?
Oh, I wanted the long version.
Yeah. Dave, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Let's hear it.
Favorite thing about the movie is Robbie's brother-in-law talking to him about the things that he does with Robbie's sister.
Yeah, that is good.
Sometimes she'll do this little exotic dance for me.
So my favorite things about the movie are just mainly like little scenes that like tidbits in the movie. Sammy being dressed as Michael Jackson when they go to the party.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then George just essentially being Boy George.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll piggyback off of that. So my favorite thing is pretty much that is the 80s vibe in general. Like, not just the references. I love all the references. But like you said, the outfits, the DeLorean.
It was all 80s, yeah.
Oh, the DeLorean, the mullets, of course,
the
soundtrack.
Music.
Yeah, the music is my favorite, right? Like, that's the best part about the movie.
Right off the rip. They're playing White Wedding in the opening credits.
Yeah, so, like, it's hard to beat a
lot of Billy Idol in this movie.
Hell yeah, there
for sure.
He appears.
Yeah, it's hard to beat a movie with good 80s vibes.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go ahead and it's kind of on the same vein. Like, my favorite thing was that it's like a funny, light, romantic comedy that involves music and the 80s. Because like that, I really enjoy the 80s vibe, I guess.
Yeah,
and this movie has tons of it.
I know. I love the 80s vibe.
Yeah,
John.
So I'll just, I guess, talk about my favorite scene, which is the scene of Table 9. And I guess it's his first wedding back to work after he's left at the altar.
Yeah.
It's just so, like, weirdly funny and sad. And you have these moments in the movie where there's, like, sorrow and humor combined. And it's like he's hitting rock bottom publicly at someone's wedding where they're expecting, like, good, wedding music.
Entertainment, yeah.
He's getting in a fight with the groom's, or the bride's dad, and it's a disaster. Love Stinks. That whole musical number is great. So that's probably my favorite part.
Sideburns lady.
Yes, it's just like and she does like this perfect bird thing where she's like,
she looks up from her plate. He's like, we gotta cut that cake soon, or else Patty's gonna lose it.
Yeah.
Daniel, what's your favorite part?
That scene. That's my favorite scene.
Really?
Where he's just hitting rock bottom and he's like calling out everyone in the entire place.
And then he plays Love Stinks.
And the band, I love how the band always follows along.
And
like,
he kills that too. He kills that. Like the way he's like, and she loves him, and he loves her, or whatever he does. That's so good.
Nice, like, chorus where the fat guy gets the mic and he's like, "Love stinks."
Love stinks.
Love stinks. Love stinks.
And then they get into it. Oh, the way that plays out, it's amazing. So next category, we've got least favorite part about the movie.
Oh
yes.
Oh, long version.
Long version.
Remix.
Dag, what was your least favorite part about this movie?
My least favorite part of the movie was not hearing more about Robbie's old band, Final Warning. We just get this little snippet of him being in this band. I wanted a flashback. I wanted something. Show me Robbie
They could have
in his
done
old
it.
band, Final Warning.
We got the visual of him in leather pants being the lead singer. So he wasn't even playing guitar. He was just singing.
Yeah, Eric, what was your least favorite thing?
My least favorite thing was that Linda cursed Van Halen and they broke up.
Please get out of my Van Halen t-shirt before you jinx the band and they break up.
Oh, I know. Seriously.
Unforgivable.
I'll go with the obvious and say Glenn, because clearly he's a grade A dick.
Yeah, he is.
John, what about you?
Just the really awkward part with Buscemi in the beginning. It's not like he's like just making a total ass of himself, and Robbie has to smooth it over. It's just like ay. Very uncomfortable.
I really
best
think
guitarist
it's
in the world.
Yeah, I think it's funny though. Like when he's at the end, he's like, "Ooh, wedding singer." Ow!
Hey, wedding singer.
What? I thought that was funny, but
I'm gonna have to disagree with John because that is a fucking hilarious scene.
Yeah, it's like I can't dislike anything because
Yeah.
it's like those people were made to dislike, and it just was so nailed between him and Glenn as just a big old piece of shit.
Yeah.
The callback to him being the wedding band at Robbie's wedding is
yeah, for sure. Daniel, what's your least favorite part?
My least favorite part about this movie is that, it's the 80s aesthetic as a whole. I'm not a big fan of the 80s revival stuff, and I think other movies have actually done it better. Mm-hmm. So that's my least favorite part of this movie, is that 80s stuff.
What movies do you think have done it better?
I think Hot Tub Time Machine did it way better.
Okay.
That would be my go-to for that. But like I said, I'm not a big fan of that sort of oh my god, the 80s were so awesome.
So my favorite and your least favorite are the same thing.
I disagree with the 80s.
It's crazy
being
I get
as
it,
awesome as they are.
Yeah. So it's easy money because they do it with everyone basically profits on nostalgia. They're like, hey, 80s people, look at this 80s movie.
Oh yeah, I understand that.
So on and so forth. So sometimes it's like, all right, I get it.
I'm not looking back at 2000s though and thinking that. Maybe college because of our experiences from college, but I'm not thinking of middle school NSYNC and Britney Spears and actually liking that music though.
Well,
so I think there is some
revival going on now is kind of bizarre to be what's going on?
Are you a fan
here?
of Creed? So I had a Creed CD. I'm not listening to Creed
say
now.
you're not nostalgic for the second Spider-Man movie where Nickelback played a song with the dude from Saliva?
So I think there are different eras of that nostalgia. I don't think every era has.
I don't think we can be friends anymore, Matt.
Well, I mean, how often do we get together and listen to emo songs from the 2000s?
Yeah,
we just
late mid 2000s. I mean, there's an era.
2000s, yeah, but I'm saying Taking Back Sunday, Brand New, that stuff. 2004. 2000,
our time.
But we're all talking about music, though. That's
what you were talking about was music. And,
but I'm not talking
everyone was into hair metal back then.
Yeah, that's true.
But they use hair metal as the quintessential 80s music.
Mm-hmm. Not necessarily. I mean, there's a lot of David Bowie. There's a lot of
David Bowie's hair metal.
No, he's not.
What about David Bowie's metal?
Yeah.
Okay,
no
hair metal, that glam rock. All that stuff,
the hair.
All that glam rock stuff got...
Glam rock and hair metal are two different genres.
Yeah,
okay. And whatever, glam rock then.
I get what you're saying, and John kind of touched on it, though, is that nostalgia for a different decade, right? I assume it's just kind of, like you said, it's done better in other movies.
Yeah, and personally, I don't have that attachment to the 80s.
Yeah.
I don't think the 80s were awesome.
Right.
Because, I know enough history to know, the 80s sucked. Every decade has sucked.
Ghostbusters?
Yeah, Ghostbusters was
Major League?
Yeah. Some great movies came out in the
great.
90s. Some great movies came out in the 2000s. Some great movies came out in the 2010s. My point is just people have this nostalgia for the 80s it was this pure, better time.
Yeah.
But it really wasn't if you were actually living in the 80s.
That's because everybody was doing cocaine.
Well, yeah. That's fair.
One thing
So
I
it
will
might have been
mention
easier.
is the 80s are a slightly earlier time period for us. We're all late 80s. Didn't really have consciousness till the 90s, so...
Yeah, I bet if we talk... Well, especially my parents loved the 80s.
Well,
a lot of music that was played in my house growing up was from the 80s, especially from my mom.
So for people who don't know us, that's kind of a big point. Daniel's parents are a little older and probably don't have that same nostalgia with the 80s
Yeah.
music. Well, I grew up listening to those 80s songs that we hear in the movie. Like White Wedding was playing at my house with my mom. So I think of that as opposed to Britney Spears or something that I heard when I was a little older as a kid. I was listening to those same songs.
Me and
so that
Daniel's
was my
parents are
and
about
your
from
parents
the same
too.
generation too, where they would not be they'd be listening to 70s music.
Exactly.
My parents were.
So and not just music but movies. I mean, like our parents. My mom graduated in the 80s, so I think that's part of it too. Our upbringing obviously provides different eras of nostalgia.
Yeah. Well, for me, also, like, musical nostalgia isn't enough for me to go, like, this movie was a great movie. It's good. I like the soundtrack of this movie. Don't get me wrong. I'm not dumping on the music or anything.
Right.
I'm just not, like, I don't have that same nostalgia for the time period of 1980, you know. I don't have that nostalgia for it. I don't really have that nostalgia for any
music
time period. Not music so much, but just time period in general. Like, people romanticize the 80s like people in the 90s romanticized the 60s.
Sure.
You know,
understood.
That's my big thing is like I guess just period pieces of the 80s don't do it for me. As much.
Makes sense.
As much. Like, I like this movie, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to
No, I get it. This was the least favorite. Oh, yeah.
Hey, I think that you don't like this
that's
movie
your opinion,
enough.
man.
Well, I think it's a testament to the movie that even that aspect of it didn't ruin it for you.
Right. It's a pretty funny movie. Like, I got plenty of laughs, like, had a good time watching it. Don't let my negativity about the 80s be misconstrued as I hated this movie. I think
I get it. I mean, you're just
good.
not a nostalgic person like you. I mean, that's kind of what you're saying. I totally get it. Absolutely.
Good debate, everyone. Nice being civil. Hold on one sec. I would just like to give us a round of applause for everyone being civil, except for Dave, of course, because fuck Dave.
Dave was civil, and you just weren't.
Thank you. I'm sorry, Dave. I love you.
All right, next category. We've got favorite song moment or score scene.
Oh, extended cut.
So we'll go back to you, Daniel, since we're talking about songs. I am kind of curious. What's your favorite song moment or score scene?
My favorite song moment is really early in the movie, but it's where Don't Stop Believin' is playing during the wedding when he's waiting for Linda, right?
Yeah.
Is that her name?
Yeah.
Linda to come down the aisle and she never comes. And as the realization keeps coming onto him.
Oh, yeah.
The music
and it becomes distorted, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Thanks, John. Really enjoy you just stomping all over my bit.
Sorry.
So what happens to the music?
When the music distorts as he's coming to the realization, like, oh, she's not coming. Like, it like zooms in on his face and the rest of the scene like fades out and you just get the music distorting as he's coming to the realization.
Even,
like
tilt the camera. Like, oh.
It's like the music went like out of tune or something. It's like very harsh and like abrasive.
Yeah. I loved it. I was like
temper tantrum after that.
Dude, great. Like I have like three like score moments. None of them were that. Too. Like this.
Yeah.
This movie, I feel like this movie did really well at emoting through the soundtrack.
Yeah.
I think. Mm-hmm. Showing emotion through the soundtrack.
Absolutely.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah. I have a bunch too, so I don't want to step on toes. Dag, what was your favorite song moment?
I really loved the song about Linda that he plays for plays for Julie.
Yeah.
Is that
somebody kill me, please.
Yeah, somebody kill me.
Somebody kill me, please.
And he goes, I've been listening to The Cure a lot lately.
It's like half written before and after.
It's so well done.
It's so good.
That was one of my my other ones that I put down was him listening to The Cure while he's sulking in his bedroom.
Yeah, exactly. John, what about you?
First, I want to continue on that because it's one of my favorites. And one part I like in particular is after he's done performing it, Julia's like, I don't know if she's just trying to be supportive of or whatever. She's like, oh, that was great. And he's just breaking down into tears.
Yeah.
I don't even think she's being supportive. I think
out of left field.
John, I thought you were gonna say the whole John Lovitz song.
Yeah.
Oh,
Shaka Khan.
Sophisticated
that's good,
woman.
But no, not quite. Another part I liked that's just for dumb comedic effect is when George does twice over.
Yes, that's so
You gotta get
good.
in here. They're turning against George.
Once
again,
really needs to learn another
It's
song.
such a good bit.
Yeah,
it is.
The thought of the band is like, yeah, this will be part of our wedding playlist.
Yeah.
And we'll do it back to back.
Eric, what'd you have?
My first one was the Linda song. My second one, or actually my first one, is just the song I Want to Grow Old With You. Like,
Yeah.
it's super cheesy,
song.
but I absolutely love it. But we were talking about the movie being good at expressing like emotions through the soundtrack. When they're in the club and Julia's vomiting in the bathroom and Robbie's talking to Glenn, and he gets to the point where he's like, I feel like this guy's cheating on her, and Robbie flips his approach to where he's like, that's a like luscious piece of ass, right? And then it's a moment where the song ends and they just start playing this next song that's like really driving or something, and the camera just pushes in on him. It just makes this like magical feeling, magical and like in the sense of like, oh, this is like serious.
Yeah.
Right. I noticed that part is like a new side of Robbie where he's not aggressive ever, but he's like, oh, I gotta get this bitch.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great way to put it. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And so one of my favorite thing about movies is the music involved in the movies. So like, that's why I have such a heavy heart for this movie is that I really do like the soundtracks, or it does affect how I like a movie. So I really like all the songs in it and everything. So this was kind of hard. So my honorable mention was when they're in the engagement party scene and he's talking to Drew Barrymore and they're kind of jiving and you hear All Night Long playing. like just as background noise. Like it's so smart. Like it's just kind of in the back of your head while they're talking, but you're like,
really,
oh,
it's the same thing that like John Williams does in Harry Potter, but it's just done
but with the soundtrack.
Pop music. They're
pop
like,
music.
okay, we need to really drive home that they're clicking.
Yeah, they're jiving, right? So, but my favorite, of course, has to be "Grow Old with You," as cheesy as it is.
It's so good though.
I just thought so. Like, not only the song, but like the scene, the way it was shot was perfect. Like, like having him play, like coming out and not even him coming out, him playing, but focusing on her face and like how it gradually gets emotional. Like, I'm not a big Drew Barrymore fan, but like she absolutely crushes that scene. Like. Gradually like showing emotion and just crushing that. Like it really is heart-wrenching in a positive way. So like he comes out there and like it's just such an emotional but awesome scene.
Did you catch the like the foreshadowing of that?
Oh, of
during
course.
their kiss. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the kiss.
Again,
There's a couple other times.
Yeah, I think there are multiple times, but the kiss is the one that I'm really thinking of.
All right, next category we've got who won the movie. Let's go to Dag. Dave, who won the movie?
My answer is so generic. It's Adam Sandler.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have any more to. I mean, he had Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore before this. People those were very I feel like that had a very narrow audience to them. I don't think a lot of people liked those Adam Sandler movies. I like those Adam Sandler movies, but this was probably like the first one of his that people were like, "Oh, this is a good Adam Sandler movie."
Yeah, and not just like another dumb comedy, right? Like this had a little more emotion to it, but again, what a Hall of Fame run he had. I mean, when we look back, like that was one of our guys that we really appreciated, right?
Yeah,
for sure,
100%.
I mean, nights that I would spend sneaking out of my bedroom when I was supposed to be asleep on Saturday nights to watch Saturday Night Live because my dad watched it religiously, like through that era of Adam Sandler.
Nice,
that's cool. Eric, what about you?
I said the same thing, honestly.
Yeah. Did anybody else? Would anybody else say Adam Sandler as well?
Yeah, I said Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
No other answer.
I actually had a slight different answer. I mean, Adam Sandler, but in mine though, I said romantic comedies. So like this like later '90s era had a ton of them. We talked about You Got Mail. Kind of a resurgence of them coming, and then kind of carries over into like 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah, which is a great movie.
We have some other ones that come out in that later era, like City of Angels, I think comes out in 97, 98 range. So a lot of romantic comedies. Not only the scenes with Adam Sandler singing to Drew Barrymore, but like, and again, the music in the background, but like the whole time they're going back and forth, and it's just that storyline. Oh, he almost got her that time. She almost gives him the lyric sheet. Like, just having that back and forth, and yeah, it's cheesy, but it's like just how the story goes in romantic comedy. So they go by the book, and in this case, I thought it works for them at least.
Right.
And
it built up that final scene on the plane.
And how she crushes it is and Screw Glenn.
It's almost Screw Glenn. It's almost like romantic comedies follow the art, like the main story, like the main story points, but then like it's within that you find like the subject matter that relates to you or like that you enjoy, which is cool. And then, then just to your point, like this is one that I latched onto and I really like.
Yeah, same here. Next category we've got, is this a podium role for any of the top billed cast members? So let's go with John. Let's Adam Sandler. Does anybody have this on Adam Sandler's podium?
I said yes. It's probably a number 3, but again, it's more like my preference to this movie. Like I just love this movie so much.
I'm also in that boat. I would say 3 as well. Is probably fair. Definitely a bronze. It doesn't touch Happy Gilmore, but
yeah.
But yeah, it's on mine as well. I assume no for you guys.
Not for me. I think Uncut Gems and Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison for me.
Awesome. That's what I had. I had the same as Daniel.
Really, nice. the top 3 same.
Took out The Wedding Singer and replaced with Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems is great for sure.
I haven't seen that one yet.
I would say Uncut Gems and Happy Gilmore. John.
I think I would put it on his podium for me.
Nice.
Because a lot of his movies are kind of like they all kind of have a format to them, I guess. So this is a particular one that rang true with me with all the music. Happy Gilmore is up there for me.
Everybody's.
Yeah. So good.
I think really he's kind of just like a comedic actor, and I know lately he's been getting into more serious stuff, but yeah, I think it's on his podium. I don't know what would be bronze on his podium for me, but I'd have it up there with Happy Gilmore.
Nice. So I have a question. Is Uncut Gems a comedy or is it a serious movie?
Mainly serious. I mean, there's some comedy, but it's mainly a serious role for him.
I just remember seeing him with like the goatee and like he looks like completely different. That's really all I remember
You have
of the
to
marketing
see it.
of that movie.
That is our recommendation.
Like,
definitely see it.
Yeah, I want to. It's
for incredible.
Sure.
He
looks
kills
like
it
he
and
got pulled
snubbed.
into doing romantic comedies a little bit.
Yeah. So next we have Drew Barrymore. I would say yes, and I had Fever Pitch, this, and E.T. because E.T. is amazing and she's awesome as a 6-year-old or however old she is in that. So that would be my podium for her.
I don't have a podium for her, but I said no just because I know that she's been in so many things. I can think of 3 or 4 right now, like the Charlie's Angels movies. Like she's been in dramatic
she's well
roles
known for that. Yep.
So I said no.
I said yes for Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
And I had The Wedding Singer, Never Been Kissed, and Charlie's Angels.
Yeah. Never Been Kissed is so good.
It is good. I'm not a big Drew
I've never
Barrymore
seen the whole
fan,
thing.
but she's in some enjoyable movies at least.
Yeah, for sure. What about Daniel?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. I haven't seen a lot of Drew Barrymore movies.
Yeah,
like I've seen E.T. I've seen this. Wasn't she in Scream?
She's
in
Scream.
Yeah, she's barely in Freddy Got Fingered. Though.
Yeah, she's in Freddy Got. Yeah, so I've seen 4 movies that she's been in, and one of them she's barely in. So
have you seen Fever Pitch?
No.
You should see that. That's with her and Jimmy Fallon.
Is that the one where the Red Sox win the World Series?
Mm-hmm. It's good. You'd like it. There's some good baseball references.
Guy.
Yeah, there's some good stuff in that. It's a cool movie, and they shoot it pretty well. But who would give up their season tickets? So whatever. But yeah, go see it. The only other person that's really of a known name, and maybe not even to you guys, is Christine Taylor, the Drew Barrymore's sister in the movie. She was in. Is that really her cousin? I thought that was her sister.
Yeah, it's her cousin. I'm pretty sure it's her cousin.
Really?
Yeah.
She's the one who wants to date Robbie.
I never knew that. No,
it's Ben
Affleck. I always
Affleck's.
thought that.
Ben Affleck. No, fuck. Ben Stiller's wife in real life.
Okay. Yeah,
I knew that. I thought that. I didn't know that was her cousin.
No, she's her cousin. Yeah,
oh,
in the movie.
In the movie. Wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but she is, well known as Ben Stiller's wife, or in Dodgeball and Zoolander.
Yes.
Those are
and she was she was also in Arrested Development.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I said yes, and that I knew her more from TV things that she's done, because she's done a lot more TV than movies. But I had Wedding Singer, Zoolander, and Dodgeball.
Yeah, same. She's also Marsha in the very Brady sequel.
Yeah, and the Brady,
yeah, the Brady movies.
Yep.
Next category we've got: does this movie podium in the year 1998? John, does this movie podium for you in the year 1998?
No, unfortunately, it misses narrowly to The Big Lebowski, Saving Private Ryan, and Half Baked.
love Half Baked.
Yeah,
Dag,
I'm gonna say.
Or Eric, go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, sorry, I'm gonna say no as well. I love this movie so much, But there are just so many good movies in 1998.
Yeah. Do you have a list?
I also said no. I said Titanic, Saving Private Ryan, and The Big Lebowski.
I don't have a list, but I agree.
Titanic didn't come out in 98.
Yeah, it came out in 97, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it came out in 97.
I thought it was 98.
So 98, it might be showing up on some lists on the internet for 98 because it was such a big hit that it was still in theaters in 98 and probably was one of the highest grossing. Exactly. Yeah. But it came out in 90. It won Best Picture in 97.
I do remember it running forever.
Yeah. Yep. Eric, did you have a list for 98?
I didn't have a list.
Okay. Daniel?
No. And my list is Saving Private Ryan, Mulan, and Truman Show.
Truman Show. Half-Baked was a total joke, actually. Truman Show deserves to be mentioned.
Yeah, that's what you just want us to think.
No, I changed my answer. I mean,
yeah, sure, John.
So for me, this actually does Podium. This is one of my favorite movies of the year, and kind of what we've already talked about. Mostly the music stuff. I would say this, The Big Lebowski, and gotta go with Armageddon.
Matt's favorite movie, Armageddon.
We're gonna watch that sometime, damn it.
Wait a second, Matt, you're telling me that Snake Eyes isn't on your podium for this year?
1 year we're gonna get a Nicolas Cage film, but not right now.
National Treasure, baby.
Yeah.
The greatest movie ever made.
Yes, Daniel, I agree with you completely.
I'm okay with that. What year did that come out? 2003?
Next year.
2000 something. Yeah, next year.
next year we're doing.
We have to watch it this week so we can film the video.
All right, next question we've got. Does this movie get made now? John, does this movie get made now?
I think you could do it in any time period. It could easily be made now.
Yeah. I actually said that yeah is the easy answer. I twisted it and said it could be a reality show where we actually follow a wedding singer around to different couples' weddings, and then like they play music based on whatever music that the bride and groom want to hear. They actually like talk about the music and then they play one of their favorite songs.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it could be a reality show that way.
That's decent, yeah.
Yeah.
Are there still wedding singers?
Yeah,
Tommy had
bands. Tommy, and that was fun, wasn't it? Like, I wish they played. They were really good. I wish they played more things that we knew, but I really enjoyed. Like John said, they kicked ass. They were fun.
He was the only one of your guys' weddings that had a band.
That's true. That's true. Maybe Eric and Kevin need to be wedding singers.
No,
as a side gig.
No, I mean we could play the music, but I'm not gonna give Kevin a mic. I'm not gonna take a mic.
I got a good casting for Kevin later, but
I do too.
Oh God, it's probably the same person. Eric, what do you think? Does this get moved? Does this get made?
I would go with John. Yeah, it gets made. You can do it in any time period. Like you could do it in the 2010s and have some fucking person with an acoustic guitar play Mumford and Sons. You could do it whenever, and it would be good.
Yeah, absolutely. Daniel,
I think it could be made, but I don't think it would be made. Simply because the box office has gone away from romantic comedies and comedies in general. Really big budget comedies.
Yeah, that's true.
Just the way Hollywood is right now, I don't think it would be made. But I think it. I mean, this goes back to our commentary on That Thing You Do, where like you can always set a film in the 80s. You can always set a film in the 60s. Like it's just a matter of if the studio is going to get behind it. And
Yeah.
I just think right now, with the way studios are making movies, they wouldn't make it. But they absolutely could.
Yeah,
I would
absolutely.
agree with that.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with that. Dave, did you have anything to add?
I said, that it would still be made today. That, they're not, like Daniel said, they're not really making a lot of comedies or romantic comedies right now. But I think that it could be something that makes a comeback.
All right, next category. We got favorite line from the movie.
Daniel's grin.
Yeah, Daniel's got a chuckle
fucking
here.
grin over there.
So let's go for it, Daniel. What do you got?
My favorite line is Robbie's best friend to him when they're talking about going out and meeting chicks, and he says, "Marry you? I'm just trying to get someone to play with your ding dong."
Marry you? I'm just trying to get someone to play with your ding dong.
That was for sure on my top 5 there, for sure. I actually kind of thought of you on that one for some reason. That'd be like, I feel like that'd be Daniel saying that to John or something. Hello, John. You're up.
Hello, John. Line. Oh, I thought someone was supposed to give me the line. Let's see. It's a material world, and I'm a material girl or boy.
Or boy.
Or boy.
It's so good.
I don't know. We're living in a material world, and I am a material girl or boy.
That is a great one. Dave, what about you?
Mine was, well, I have a microphone and you don't, so you have to listen to every word that I have to say.
Well, I have a microphone, and you don't.
So you will listen to every damn word I have to say!
That's such a Dave line, too.
Yeah.
That is a perfect Dave line. I definitely can see that.
Yeah.
Eric?
Let's see. Okay, so my first one is, so it was a bad note. And that's when Robbie was in the tent and is like, Linda left a note. She's not coming.
Yeah.
There was a note. Basically indicated that Linda was not coming today.
So it was a bad note.
The second one we alluded to before, but it's John Lovitz after Robbie played the Linda song, and he said, he's losing his mind, and I'm reaping all the benefits.
Losing his mind. And I'm reaping all the benefits.
Yeah.
And then the curtain just kind of like slowly goes over.
And his face, his eyes.
Yeah.
So good in that.
There's so many more. I didn't even think of the I am a material boy.
Yeah. So I said, I kind of stole a lyric instead, but used it as a line. But just the way that in Somebody Kills Me or Somebody Kill Me Please, when he's talking about, or as he's singing, put a bullet in my head, and the way he says it, it's just like so melodical. It's incredible. I just always think of that line. It's so
He does
pretty,
really kill
but
that
so
song.
ruthless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just put a bullet in my
He's
head.
like, all right, you asked for it. I'm
Yeah,
gonna perform it for you.
I'm going for it.
You're going to the mental institute.
Everyone says you're going crazy. You're 8. Who do you talk to besides your parents? Sorry, John.
What were you saying,
Not
John?
to be ignored is John Lovett's performance of Ladies' Night right before that, because we all know he's a big ladies' man.
Or a lady's creep, as we've heard.
Lady, single baby.
We got 2 more, guys.
Sweet.
Next one is most likely to be the off-screen drunk. Daniel, who's the most likely to be the off-screen drunk in this movie?
It's Steve Buscemi's character.
The best man, everybody.
Best man, the better man.
I mean,
he's on screen though.
Yeah, but he's gonna be drunk off screen too.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah, exactly. He's going home and doing the same thing.
Yeah, when you make a scene like that at your brother's wedding, that means you've got some problems with alcohol. Plus, his dad doesn't love him.
Yeah,
and he's constantly reminded that his dad doesn't love him.
Do you know that
guy
character
is drinking?
Do you know that character's name?
No.
Does anyone know that character's name? I'm going to play a little trivia here. Dave,
no.
do you know?
No, I don't.
Matt, do you know? Okay.
Is it Lenny? Is it Lenny?
No, it's not. It is David.
David. Wow.
Dragging that good name through the mud.
I actually had him as well. For those exact reasons. Yeah, your parents hate you. You're not the good child, not the one getting married. Like, yeah, I had him as well.
He's talking about his rehab during his brother's wedding.
Exactly. Ooh, the wedding singer.
He's on guitar now. After Robbie tries.
Ooh, look, I play guitar. Eric, what about you?
Most likely to be off camera drunk. I said Sammy, Robbie's friend.
Mm-hmm.
Just
I
because
also said Sammy.
You said Sammy too? Okay, so my I took it literally like he's not drunk in the movie, but like he parties and like he's up on the new things and like he's just drunk off camera.
Yep, that makes sense.
Did you have another? Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to take yours.
He's a single guy. He's just trying to party, have a good time.
Yeah,
but he's also very lonely.
Yes,
does a little, probably
a little bit, probably.
Oh yeah, he
For
sneaks
sure.
into the bathroom sometimes.
Oh, that was also
with that glove on.
Scene was him. Robbie timing him on the limo stuff.
Oh, that's such a good scene.
Those could have been guests at her wedding. They were cones.
John, did you have an answer for this one?
No, those were, great answer from Eric, because that is kind of a, kind of a powerful scene. Not, low-key powerful, where he's like, hey, I'm not happy. And he's like, my window for happiness is closing.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're like, oh yeah, he's kind of been sort of a joke this whole movie, but you're like, ow.
Yeah. That kind of plays back to an earlier question, like quotes, and that like, you know what happened to the Fonz and Vinnie Barbarino?
Yeah,
he's like, I think Fonz wants to direct, and like Vinnie Barbarino, I think he did the Mechanical Horse movie, but like I haven't seen it.
Their shows got canceled.
Yeah, their shows got canceled.
Robbie's trying to be
I love how they put that out there.
Yeah.
So we wrap this up with casting our friends. So who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
I'll go first.
Okay, Dave can go.
Do it, Dave.
I'll go first because I really didn't think that any of our friends were like the characters in this movie. But if I had to put anyone as Robbie, it would be Daniel. And the reasons for putting it as Daniel was just he's our friend who doesn't really want to leave, doesn't really want to move from our hometown and is looking for love.
Yeah.
And then if I had to put Cody, I'd put Cody as Robbie's brother-in-law, Andy, trying to explain to Robbie that marriage ain't all it's cracked up to be.
Yes.
I didn't take that one. That's great.
I didn't take that one either, but that's so fucking good.
Yeah. I'll go next. Curious who all had John as the old guy. Anybody else?
I almost put John as the old guy too.
No, I've got
John is the old guy.
I've got John.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, that's fine. So I had John as the old guy because I feel like he'd like when he's older, he'd be saying some of the lines that guy says. I can't think of any at the top of my head, but just like
you got the guy that-
I used to be something or whatever.
I
like,
used to be so stronger.
He throws that punch, the first punch in the fight, and it's just like a wet paper bag, and he's like, and that's when he says, I'm sorry, I used to be stronger.
that reminds me of John. I said Steve Buscemi would be Kevin because he'd be really, really trashed, and I could definitely see him going up to a guitar and be like, "Hey, look at me! I'm playing guitar. Look at my guitars." I could definitely see that being Kevin. Don't lie.
That's really good.
I had Glenn for Cody because I could definitely see him coming home with a CD player for Lakin and being like, "Oh, look at this," and Lakin's like, "I don't care about this.
It's the future."
Yeah, exactly. I could definitely see that.
I got a good deal on this.
I said, Daniel's the kid that slips the hand on the butt. I feel like Daniel just
the kid from Matilda.
He'd toe the line. You know, I feel like Daniel would toe the line on that one. And then I said that his buddy, Adam Sandler's buddy in the movie, Sammy, reminded me of Brad for some reason. And I can't put my finger on it. But just like the way he sticks around with him, but I couldn't even think of why, but he just reminded me of Brad with just some of the mannerisms or something, like maybe the paranoia or trying to like do that thing. I don't know. I just, for some reason, I had Brad for that.
Did you have anyone as Robbie?
I didn't actually.
Okay.
Who else hasn't gone yet? Who wants to go? Daniel.
Okay. So for Robbie, I had Matt because he's a hopeless romantic, and I mean, fair. Matt is a hopeless romantic.
It's a great song by the Bouncing Souls.
For Glenn,
though, I'm sorry. Hold on. Matt could not play the part because he is not able to sing.
We'll see about that.
Yeah. Have you seen him at karaoke?
I have seen him at karaoke. That. He sings that one note beautifully.
I'll get your medicine when your tummy aches. Build your fire if the furnace breaks. So it could be so nice growing old with you.
If he picks the right repertoire of songs, he can crush it.
Kid Rock. Go ahead, Daniel.
I had Glenn. I had Cody because Cody would definitely be like, "Hey, I got us a cheap flight to Vegas. Let's go there and get married instead of paying for a big wedding."
Good. So we've added the same person, but I love that too.
Yep. Yeah. I had the same exact reason for that. Daniel. That's so good.
It's awesome.
Then I had George as John because he's a mediocre musical talent.
Oh, that's good though. I could see John like playing the same song again.
It's like I
only know the one song.
Yeah. I guess I'm gonna play it again.
Yeah. And John's the sort of guy who would. John would look. He'd look around. He'd be like,
"Okay,
well, Matt's not back yet, so I guess we should just play the same song again."
That's pretty good.
And then I also had Rosie, and I cast myself as Rosie because she's weird and asks inappropriate questions.
Oh my god,
that's really good. That is good.
Good.
You would pay somebody meatballs too.
Yeah. Here's some meatballs. So I don't have any clean Tupperware. Put out your hands.
Plop. That's a good meatball.
But,
John?
I mean, she practices for her husband, and that anniversary is very sweet.
Yes.
Oh,
How that all comes together, and Robbie watches her perform it.
Before I get to John, Kelly just texted me. I was blanking on the old guy's thing that made me think of John. I was thinking of the line where he's saying, when he hugs Sam and he's like, everything's gonna be all right.
All right.
That reminds me of John. So John, can you cast your friends?
All right. I'm gonna put Matt as the wedding singer because just main character aspect of this podcast, and he's the main character to that movie. It's one of your favorite movies too. We can dub the singing.
There's auto-tune, man. There's ways to get around it.
I'll miss you, kiss you, give you my coat when you are cold, need you, feed you, even let you hold the remote control. Just wait, I'm just saying, just wait.
He's gonna sing that thing you do. It's gonna be amazing.
I got something in my pocket for you.
Got something in my pocket for you.
Yeah, other than like the main characters, it's like everyone's just kind of like sort of, I guess, a little niche character in themselves. So me as the old guy sounds fine. Me as the next old guy sounds just as fine. You know, the guy who's not, out there, single, no chance at love, just trying to party.
Just getting someone to play with your ding dong.
Not to get too, marry you. Although, I feel like Kevin could maybe play that role as well, like line where he's like, it takes him a good 2 weeks to realize they shouldn't sleep with anyone at work.
And you like to be the one who teaches them that, right? Yes, I do.
Hold my cord again.
That was Kevin for a while.
Yeah. Oh shoot, who needs to be cast here? Who wants to be George?
I almost cast myself as George, and then I thought of Rosie and was like, "Oh, that's perfect."
Yeah,
I feel like you could be a George too. George, he's a team player. He knows when he can fill in and when he needs to fade into the background. And let Robbie come shine.
Who's Dave? Dave hasn't been casted at all in this.
I've got one for Dave.
I don't want to put Dave as Glenn.
Right.
Like, problem is, I didn't want to cast anyone as Glenn because he's a big fucking asshole. Like, one of the worst villains there.
A grade A asshole.
That's why we cast Cody.
He loves it too.
Okay,
Eric,
I'll go.
right.
I'll go. I have a couple that are the same. Robbie is Matt. Glenn is Cody. Especially because he got a cheap flight to Vegas and they can just get married in Vegas. And then anyone who wants to go there, that's fine.
Funny.
No brainer. Yeah.
That's so good.
So Glenn's friend at the party, who's like, "Oh, Robbie, I heard what happened at your wedding. That must have felt like shit." I don't know why, but I cast Bogey in that. I cast Bogey because he's just like, he's trying to be social, but he'll say that, and then the person's like, "What?"
I love the line back from that because he goes, "Yeah, my parents died when I was 10. You want to talk about that?"
Why would I want to talk about that? I have no idea. So Sammy, Robbie's friend, is Dave. Because Dave,
we got one for Dave.
Because Dave always stays up on what's like cool and popular.
Oh my god, you're so right. That's good.
Dave's hip.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Dave is hip. Dave is hip. Thank you. The character of David, who is played by Steve Buscemi in the movie, will be cast as Brad. Because I can see Brad beating up his landlord.
Brad doesn't have a landlord anymore.
Well,
though.
yeah. This was previous Brad before he owned.
This was after Brad got into rehab and straightened things out.
Yeah. The old guy in the bar is Daniel because he just wants his friends to be happy.
Okay.
So like he's gonna hug him and say everything's gonna be all right.
Yeah, I guess that works for him too.
I am a hugger.
Yeah. Julia is Beth because she's marrying a person that doesn't help with wedding planning. and then the last one is George, played by our friend Kevin, because he is going to be the one to sing no matter what. No matter if anyone's asking him to sing, he's singing.
Gonna do it. He's gonna do it.
Yep, he's gonna do it. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Hot off the press, the last one, the very last one. The kid who drinks too much at the party and pukes out back is our buddy John.
Yeah, I knew that's where you were going with that. John has never thrown up drinking alcohol. What are you talking about?
I could also play the scene where Robbie's laying in the dumpster.
Anything around that dumpster. Anything around that dumpster is just John can take that.
like on my balcony in college wearing a suit.
All right, so before we close out, because we talked about it too early in the episode, and I didn't want to derail the conversation with a top 5 at that moment, but I was trying to think of what I could do for a top 5 for this movie, and I think the obvious one that could have been done was top 5 Adam Sandler movies, but I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
So I've got the top 5 Billy Idol songs.
Hell yeah!
Nice. Billy Idol plays such a big part in this movie that you hear like a few of his songs through the movie. I thought it was fitting.
Ooh, I'm curious what you got here.
So for number 5, I've got Eyes Without a Face.
Your eyes without a face.
Yeah, that's my favorite. That's the best song.
For number 4, it's Money Money.
Yeah.
Or Money Money.
Money Money.
However you want it.
It's Money Money.
For number 3, Dancing with Myself.
Yeah.
Oh, my other favorite.
Another cover?
And then number 2, White Wedding.
Nice day for a white wedding.
And number 1, Rebel Yell.
Rebel Yell.
Yeah. That's a good list. Those are my top 5 too. Absolutely. Eyes without face. Eyes without face.
See?
Cheers, guys. Love you.
Cheers.